This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Are human beings. You all are worthy of dignity and respect, and I would not have known that at the deepest cut that I know it as much as I thought I knew had I not had the opportunity to sit on the phone with T.I. and get cursed out by this guy 3 years ago. like I remember us asking him, so what can we do? And he was like, nigga, y'all can't do shit. I had been used to hearing that, because I got a few baby mamas and some kids. But T.I. is rich, so I was like, you don't tell a rich nigga he can't do shit, he gonna do it. But by the time we got off that conversation, I was so humbled because I realized that a lot of times as a young man, when you're allowed by the universe to have fame or have fortune or even have good luck, you tend to think you're special and it's all about you. And I know I personally, not speaking for any other entertainer, I personally thought, you know what, nigga, God just liked me. You know what I'm saying? I was meant to do this. And I use that to justify my suffering house, and I use that to justify my ups and my downs. But the truth of it is, when you're given an opportunity, and an opportunity just means you wake up in the morning and you can breathe breath in and out and all of your limbs work and you have the same mind and body, you have an obligation, a moral obligation to recognize and validate the humanity in other human beings. That is beyond our car. That is beyond our house. That is beyond how much we owe on a tax debt. That is beyond any anger or feelings or emotions. And I learned that from an old man. I learned that sitting with him, and I'm tired at 5 in the morning at the Waffle House with my wife. And he said, hey, I'm talking to you. You looking at me? Huh? I mean, the first time we met, we spent so much time together, I thought I was related to him because he poured out freely with so much information, with so much knowledge. And I know the sensationalized stuff is the conspiratorial stuff and things of that nature, and the other stuff is, you fat, right? You need to eat fruit for a month. But what I really learned about him is that he loved us. Oh, black people, he loved you. He loved you. He loved you, and he wanted to remind you every day that whatever put us here, whatever decided that the first people on earth should look and be black women, and whatever decided that man should spring from the womb of a woman and not woman from the rib of a man, whatever decided to make you beautiful and human, he wanted to remind you of every day. He wanted you to understand that your job is not bigger than your children. He wanted you to understand that the equal partner you have is right there in that home with you. And he wanted you to understand that no nationality and no government and no flag superseded the universal law of love and compassion and care and concern. This man, when he left us, a library burnt down. When he left us, a great center of education is gone. When he left us, a wife lost her husband and her children lost their parent, but we lost a conduit to the universal God when he left us. He left an agent for the universal God when he left us. We left someone that'll tell you after you've read all the books and after you know all the knowledge you know, I hope it affirms what you already knew in your your heart. I hope it affirms, no matter what garbs you wear, that every person is regal and royal and deserving of love. And that's why I stumbled out of a club at 3 in the morning. I didn't drink, I smoked though, marijuana. After I overslept and I woke up in bed with my wife this morning, I said, you can stay, but I gotta get in that Sprinter and I gotta go. And my driver, who knows me, knew I had probably smoked too much marijuana. I called an hour and a half late, and I said, Red. He said, Mike, I'm downstairs. And I got in that Sprinter, and my wife got in that Sprinter, and my best friend got in that Sprinter, and I'm here out of my moral obligation to continue what you did. I loved you, old man. Oh my God, I loved you. I remember every time you cursed me out. I remember when my wife said to you, you're gonna stop saying bitch in front of me. And you said, you ain't a bitch, are you? And she said, no. He said, well, what you offended by? She said, I'll push your old ass down. And you never said bitch the rest of the night. If we didn't say it enough while he was here, make sure you tell his children. Make sure you tell his wife. Thank you, and I love you, and I will spend the rest of my life making sure that the fights that he fought against capital punishment, for poor people, against racism, and for the greater humanity will continue to be fought from the stage and the podiums that athletes and entertainers stand on. I love you with all my heart. I loved you, old man, with all my heart. And Christian, thank you for letting me and giving me the opportunity to speak at your father's honor.
Davis Jr.'s and others, boy, if someone could do something like that for Dick GREgory. I think that Washington University is planning a tribute.
Yes, that's right.
They were planning a tribute. Yeah, we were very close. Yeah. I mean, very, very close. We were laughing before in our reception. There were just things I couldn't put him on the air to talk about. I mention him here. I mean.
Well, I think he was an enormous influence in the culture. His autobiography, Nigger, was a very influential book for me when I was growing up in Philadelphia.
Why was that? Why was that?
Oh, because it was just this kind of really powerful book about growing up in St. Louis and about the struggle he was having with the middle-class black people in the Ville and everything else. And it was just something that, as a teenager myself, and a lot of the book is covering his growing up years, it was a coming-of-age book that I was just able to intensely identify with, as well as with Gordon Parks' book, A Choice of Weapons. Those were two books that I remember growing up with as a teenager. I just intensely identified with the I just felt like, man, this feels like my life in some way, you know, and Dick GREgory's book was that. And I also thought he was extremely funny. I mean, clearly he was an influence on Cosby and Pryor and all those guys who came after him, you know, the famous joke about going into the Jim Crow restaurant. The waitress comes up to him and says, we don't serve Negroes here, and he says, fine, I don't eat them. I've always remembered that.
I want a chicken, a whole chicken, and I'm going to take this chicken. Oh yeah, because the white guy said, whatever you do to that chicken, we're going to do to you. Yeah. And Dick said, good, because I'm going to kiss this chicken's ass. He picked up the chicken and
and the other thing is that a lot of people don't know, this is from my jazz hat, it was that he was in a film when he played a jazz character like Charlie Parker. The character was named Eagle. It was based on a novel by John A. Williams, a very famous black writer who wrote this novel about Charlie Bird Parker, and they made a film of it, and Dick GREgory starred in it, and if you've never seen the film, you should check it out.
Yeah. We were able to get him his star on the Walk of Fame. 50 years, it took 50 years to get that star.